Okay, Nick, I'm interested in what you said in the earlier section. You played a lot of poker, obviously made a bit of money at it and got very good at it and then turned it in. Several people have said to me in these interviews in the past that you have to keep a head and abreast because what worked last year is not necessarily going to work this year. Do you agree with that?
Oh, 100%. It's everything's evolving, and poker really evolved at a fast clip, to the point where I was sat there thinking, I'm playing against machines rather than people a lot of the time here, and I know that the companies have done things to try to change that, but my edge went from quite big to negative in a very short period of time playing poker. And I think one of the things you must understand is when your edge disappears, because I could have spent the next year in denial there and given back everything I'd won the year before if I hadn't understood that my edge had gone. If you take that into sports betting and football betting especially, the Asian market continues to evolve and lots more analytical methods are coming out there to be able to better price these games. And so one of the things I think you really need to do is keep a track of, at 3 p.m. on a Saturday when the games start, take a screenshot or build something to scrape for you the SPs, the starting price of those teams, because see it like a stock market, like demand and supply. Where the market settles at 2.59 on a Saturday is pretty much the right price. That's where everyone looking to back and everyone looking to cut to lay have come together and have said, this is the right price. And so take those SPs and interpret them yourself at a later date. Regardless of the result of the game, why have Liverpool gone off slight favourites away to Man United when the league table says Man United are higher and the media will all tell you that Man United are better at football? Maybe not after what's just happened in the last few weeks with Liverpool, but when the game happened I was hearing that. How can this possibly be the right price? Well, the sharpest in the market, the sharpest, biggest syndicates out there are saying that's what they believe the right price is. So you can either put your head in the sand and say, well, they're wrong, but they're not because they're winning millions and millions of pounds, or you can try to learn from them. What are they seeing that the pundits aren't seeing, the mass media aren't seeing, and your mates aren't seeing in the pub? And I think that's crucial to keeping one step ahead of the game and keeping the edge, is trying to figure out what's happening in the heads and the offices of the very best.
Okay, so you've obviously we've talked about the fact you were successful. What would you consider to be the most important weapon for a punter in their quest to beat the bookies, exchanges, whatever?
First of all, it's discipline. Know yourself. We're all humans, so know the little gremlins in your own head. Know the triggers that might cause you to do something you shouldn't do. Once you've cut those out, you've cut out so much of the leaks in your punting straight away. The silly bet after you've had a drink, or a team you've backed go 1-0 down, so you back them again at 1-0 down at the bigger price without really considering whether that's value or not. So it's first of all, it's all about the discipline, and I think the discipline. I've seen so many people out there that have got great opinions or great models or know when a price is wrong, but aren't long-term winning punters because they can't match that skill that they've got up with staking and disciplining themselves properly. So you can be a genius, but if you don't stake right and have your own head right, it'll all go to waste.
Golden do's and don'ts for punters that are looking to improve their performance from you. What advice would you give them?
I think don't fall for trends or for very small sample sizes. So if someone tells you Derby haven't beaten Millwall for the last 3 years, that's actually a sample size of 6 matches. And it may be that in one of those 6 matches they hit the bar 4 times in a 0-0 draw, or the other one they've had a man sent off in the first minute. So I question everything. Also, if you hear that Derby haven't beaten Millwall for the last 3 years, you can bet your bottom dollar they beat them 4 years ago. Otherwise, you'd be told it was 4 years. So be very careful with misleading statistics. Anytime someone gives you a stat, it might be interesting to hear, but A, does this help me form an opinion betting wise? And B, is there any reason a bookmaker might have missed it and the price we're being offered might be wrong as a result of it? Often, when we see stats in the media, the answer will be no to one of those things.
Okay, thank you. And one of the benefits, obviously, of being successful at punting is that you've now managed to enter the ownership market. Can you tell us about your Bloodstock?
Yeah, well, I've got I'm involved with one horse at the moment with Jim Boyle, who is a good mate of mine and trains just behind where I'm sat here, actually, in Epsom. Excellent trainer who's just having his yard redeveloped, and it's going to have a all singing, all dancing new yard next year. So any prospective horse racing owners out there, Jim will be your man next season. I think the best story. So when I was still working for Coral as a football trader, there were a couple of the racing guys and a couple of us football guys who decided we'd buy a horse between us, 5 or 6 of us. And the horse was very backward as a 2-year-old, and it had 3 runs and got handicapped as a 3-year-old, but it wasn't very good, and it got a mark of about 53, I think, something like that. And it had a couple of months off, and the penny started, according to the trainer, the penny started dropping with this horse, and he's like, well, we've got her working with one about 70 now, and she's working upsides it. She's a lot better than this mark. So we'll take it to Wolverhampton and she'll be good for a punt that day, lads. Now, telling 6 bookmakers and traders this, that you've got one that's working £20 better than its mark, and we're going to Wolverhampton on your weather, and we're ready to land a punt. That's music to everyone's ears. So we've got round in a huddle. It's like, lads, we need to plan this properly. This is this has got no form whatsoever. It's going to open a big price. So the 6 of us, this is one step away from how Barney Curley used to do, I think, or I hope. We got a map of London, and we split it into 6 parts. So the morning of the race, that's your part. You're the Elephant and Castle. You're Stratford. All areas where we could get around 10, 12 betting shops in one go. It's open. So we saw the prices the night before. No one touch it the night before. No one tell anyone we're backing this the night before. Everything stone wall silence. We've pulled it off to absolute precision. No one knew a thing. The morning of the race, 8 o'clock in the morning, it's 33 to 1. Right, keep backing it around the shops. We'll meet you at Euston at 2 o'clock and we'll get the train up to Wolverhampton for the 5 o'clock race. Keep backing it until it's 6s. So mobile phones to one side, each shop, trying to keep below the limits so they don't ring them up. 33, 25, 20, all the way down. We meet at Euston. It's about 7 to 2, joint favourite. We get all the slips out. We divvy up what we've got. You know, we're on this thing for a bundle. We're like, this is a really well planned coup here, lads. This was our dream. We wanted to land something like this. It's fallen into our laps because the horse has started working well, supposedly. We're on the train up there, and everyone's buzzing. It's like we've pulled this off. So we get up to the to Wolverhampton Racecourse. They're going around the parade ring. Assistant trainer, Irish guy, I won't name him, comes over to us, and we said, this is 7 to 2 now. 7 to 2 should be bloody 2 to 7, says the assistant trainer. Right, get into the ring, boys. We'll have more on. So we've had more on at 7 to 2. We've sent this horse off 11 to 4. Breaks badly, gets itself into mid division. Looks like it's coming with a run, completely peters out, finishes 6 of 13, never closer. The gamble's gone awry, it's gone down the drain. You log on to Twitter, everyone's like, what's this about? This horse has got no form. How have they ever backed that? Who are the idiots backing that 33 into 7 to 2? Well, I was the idiot that backed that 33 into 7 to 2. The horse had 2 more runs for us, and there's no way it was ever working with a 70 horse. We were sold a pup. That horse, by the way, let's just finish this story. That horse is now owned by my wife and has been retrained to do dressage and show jumping, and recently won its first event just about 5 years after I needed it to.
Brilliant. So you've had a lot of fun, and also I would imagine you're enjoying the game at the moment. You're on a high, you're winning. Do you envisage yourself doing it betting for a living for the rest of your life?
Wow, that's a question. I can't for the life of me imagine a life in an industry outside of betting. That's not to say it won't change in 10 years' time, but I don't see myself ever doing something outside of betting. I think I just enjoy this environment and this industry too much for that to be a possibility. What I can say fairly safely is I don't imagine I'll ever work for one of the big bookmakers again. I left that area with a bit of a sour taste. I didn't enjoy the last couple of the years there. How corporate everything had become. That's not me. You can see anyone that knows me on Twitter knows that's not me. That's not my persona. It's not my lifestyle. I can't sit in those meetings and talk business speak and talk about straw man thinking and all that nonsense. It's just it's no good to me. So I had to get out, and I can't imagine it's ever going to move back such that it would be appealing for me. What I am interested in and have done, I've done some over the last couple of years a little bit of consultancy work for a startup bookmaker, just how they ought to, how perhaps I think they should trade, how they should operate, just some advice perhaps on, you know, someone who's done it for 15 years, and I'm open to that. And I've done a little bit of consultancy as well for businesses who provide to bookmakers what a bookmaker's looking for. I can help out with that, and that's something that I've looked to do. I've looked to try to do, because it can be a very lonely life just sat at this desk with only yourself day in, day out. So getting out, doing something different is something I'm always open to. And one of my big things, it's going full time, and a piece of advice I give anyone who's currently betting full time or planning to give it a try: keep your mind open to everything and say yes to as much as you can, even if it's something you wouldn't have done. You get an opportunity to get out of your house, meet some new people, do something new. Say yes, do it. An afternoon at the rowing regatta, about as far away from anything in my life as I could imagine. I'm just not, that's not me at all. What's the downside? I get out and talk to some people, and I watch some boats go along a river, and I come home. It's, the other side is that I'll sat at my desk all day and do some work that I could have done another day. So I try my hardest to say yes to everything. If someone's going out for dinner, do we want to come? Don't find excuses not to do it. It's very easy, especially I've got a 10-month-old child. It's very easy to say we're not going to do this, we're not going to do that because we've got a baby. The baby would need to go to sleep, it would need to do this. We're not going to go on holiday this year because of the baby, we're not going to go abroad. I don't like that mentality. I think do everything if you can.